Good morning, everybody. Yes, we are actually in the craft room. I have been up since 5:30 this morning. Now, I've not been in the craft room since 5:30 this morning, but I have been up since 5:30 this morning. Woke up, had to go to the little girl's room, then couldn't go back to sleep, and then my hubby gets up about 6 to go to work, so then he's in there, rambling around, and so he went to go to work, so I just got on up. I am ironing a yard, a white on white yard piece of fabric, and I'm going to show you what we're going to be working on today, or attempt to work on. I'm not going to be starting a full quilt today. I didn't want to start like a big project. It is cold. It is raining. It is just absolutely just miserable outside. This has been setting, so I'm just spraying it with the last little bit of my peach, and then I have linen down there that I got. And I need to go on Joann's Fabrics and see if they have any really good online sales. Because guys are closing. They're closing. So I need to go on there and see if they got any good sales. If you've got anything good on there or in store, because I've not been in the store, let me know down below. This is being folded up and put up for a while, so I'm just trying to get some of the wrinkles out so we can get it cut. And I'll show you the pattern. That it's not a free pattern, it's in a book. I have showed this book before, so some of you might have it. It is Annie's Quilting. You know I love these little books. You can get them for around $12 to $10. And when we had these at Joann's would run them 25% off. So you could usually get them from like $7 to $8. And they do have a really cute Valentine's Day one. But I don't think I have enough red and pink scrap to do this. So I'm going to actually be doing, or attempting to do, this. And I've pulled some Lori Holt fabric and some scrap. This was a piece of scrap yardage I got in a bundle from somewhere. And I'm just trying to get the wrinkles out, because it called for 3/4 yards of white. And I have a whole bolt up there I've not cut into yet. And if I can use this, and it has a really pretty leafy white on white, guys, we'll use this. And I actually need to turn this iron up because it's not getting all my wrinkles out. So we are going to work on a springy project today, but I will give you all the fabric requirements. You'll see me working on it, and you might can figure it out on your own. I mean, if you can do that, and a lot of people can. I'm getting where I can look at patterns now and see kind of how things are put together and what I need to do to simulate that pattern. If it's a fairly easy, like, you know, half square triangles, just turn this way and that way. You can kind of figure out. Get that spritz up there. And this iron is rattling. I gotta put like a little piece of felt or something in there to keep it from rattling, because it's the water tank. It's not the iron, it's the water tank part, and I don't use water in it. I use the Best Press. You could put water in your spray bottle. It's just, one, it keeps it from like gunking up in your iron if you're letting your iron sit, because I don't get in here all the time to do this, so the water would sit in there and get kind of icky or rusty. Like I've seen people, you know, go to do their iron and it be kind of rusty in there. Or if they're using red, it would fade the red. But yeah, I'm ready for some spring. I did get my lettuce seeds planted. I went back there on my back porch. Now, lettuces and cabbages love cold. So with it being cold and dreary today, I'm not worried about it. As long as it don't get down below freezing, and I don't think it's supposed to get down below freezing. I think that's pretty well ironed enough where I can cut it. How have you guys been doing? I have still been going to work. A lot of you have been asking about my hands. Thank you guys for watching my updates. And I will keep doing like little updates as we go along. My hand is doing pretty good. The steroid that he put me on did amazing, but it was only for 1 week. So I'm taking the Celebrex now that he had prescribed me before, and took it this morning. He did say I can start going without the brace for a while, not all the time, but for a while. And I don't have it on right now, and it's doing fine. I do go in March to get tested for the carpal tunnel. All right, so now that I have this ironed, I am going to fold it half this way. Salvage, just the salvages here. Because when I cut it with my stripology, it'll be pretty flat that way. Just gonna line up selvage edges, and then I fold it again so that it's really skinny, and I put my fold down here at the bottom, and then there's how I cut. We'll get to cut that here in just a second. But what you need is 3/4 yards, and I do believe that is a full yard. Let me get back to my page. You're gonna need some fat quarters, and I'm using some Lori Holt fat quarters. These were left over out of that big bundle I had. So yes, 3/4 yards background, 1/4 yard each. It says yellow, aqua, and reds. Use whatever colors you have on hand. Make it scrappy. They did use yellow, aqua, and red. I do have yellow, aqua, blue, and another red. So we're going to mix those up. You need light green print, 1/8 of a yard. You need a green dot. Now, what did I do with my green dot? I had a green dot. What did I do with it? Did I put it up? These are the leaves, so I have scrap green that I can use for that I found. Shoot. I had a Lori Holt green. I bet I put it back up. Let me see what it said, because I don't think that's enough. 1/2 yard green dot. And those are, okay, so those are the stems. Those are the stems. So that's what I'm going to use. I will use these for, and this should be plenty. That's a lot of 2-inch strips. And then I have this green dot I can use for this, because that's only 1/8 of a yard, and this is 1/4 of a yard. Then you're going to need 3/4 yards backing. I don't know yet what I'm going to use for backing, but I'll find something in 21 by 53 batting, and of course thread. I do have some crib batting pieces around here somewhere, and I have some scrap batting that I can put together. So let's get to cutting this. I'll get these ironed out too, and I'll bring you guys back in just a second. All right, guys, so I think I have everything cut except my binding. I was just a little bit shy on what it called, because like I said, it called for 1/2 yard of that green dot. I didn't think I had quite 1/2 yard, so I'll use something else for the binding. Heated up my coffee. Okay, I did not realize we were going to be using squares this little, but she is what she is. And I probably need to change my foot to a 1/4 inch foot. Let's go ahead and do that. And see what the first steps are. But this is the layout. I'm going to do the flowers. There's 2 yellows on the outside, and then there's 2 aquas and a red. So I'm just going to, you see it, 2 yellows, blue, red, aqua. And these do go in steps. So the first thing we're going to be doing is these teeny tiny ones. Joy. Okay, get them out of the way. So I'm going to go ahead and lay these squares back. And I did cut extra. So if I like this, I can do it again and make maybe some mug rugs. So here's those little bitty, teeny tiny squares. And then here's the coordinating colors to the tops of the flowers. And I have double of the yellow. And it looks like we're just going to snowball corners. So let me flip you guys around and up, and we will just try to chain piece the crap out of these. And then I don't need a 1/4 inch foot, guys. I lied to you. I lied. I lied. And I do not want to draw lines on the back of all these. And I got to figure out what side is front and what side is back. Oh, good grief. This should not be that hard, though, because they're tiny squares. Tiny squares, right? Tiny squares. I am lining up my corner with my tape down here. Let me get a little piece of paper. Yeah, paper. To get this going. And I'm going to oh wait, I think my needle is off to the side where I was doing binding. Let's try it again. Okay. I'll see if that corner needs to be just the very corner pop loose. I had my needle moved over because the last thing I did was binding. It is so hard to tell on this white on white. It's one reason I don't like using it. Lord. Somebody said get like a little black light. But does that really do? Does it do? Can you tell? So I'm going to chain piece all of these together. All of them. If I lay it against the other fabric, I can tell. Oh, they're so tiny. That one did good. Okay, well, you know me and tiny pieces of fabric. Not very precise at tiny, tiny pieces of fabric. All right, guys, I'll be back in a second. So all of my tulip points are done, and I'm just trimming the backs by hand because, you know, why not? I mean, by the time I get the rotary cutter and cut all of them, this is just as quick. I did change the blade on my cutter. This guy, make sure my blade's in. And guys, I was just wanting to change the blade. That's all I was wanting to do. And of course, as soon as I start taking it apart and my hand's not wanting to work, the whole thing just starts coming apart. Like all the pieces start coming apart. I had to get on YouTube and watch a tutorial on how to put the stupid thing back together. That's why I let my hubby do things like that. But the blade needed to be changed. It has not been changed in a long time. And the rule of thumb is if you can't remember when you changed it, this one's off a little bit. Do I want to resew that one or just work with it? I want to just work with it. Actually, I might resew it just a little bit. But yes, I changed the blade, finally got it back together, and it seems to be working okay. I'm just gonna go back over that top corner. I have a rug under this chair, and the whole purpose was to protect my floor. Get out front of their string. And yeah, all it's doing is wadding up. That's just all. I need a bigger rug. So I'm about ready to take this rug out from underneath and throw it somewhere. All it's doing is wadding up. It's a little better. Go back over that with the iron. I put a little piece of fabric right here in between the tank and the body, and it's not rattling as bad. So are these perfect? No. Are they good enough for me? Yes. Because like I said, if you're up on my work and you're critiquing that closely, you need to back off. Unless I ask you. Hey, do you see a mistake in that? Can you tell me if you see a mistake? And if you're all up on it like that close, and I didn't ask you to be, you need to back off. It's a craft, guys. We're not going to take it that seriously. But these little pieces, them and I, we don't get along. These little bitty, anything that's like an inch, no, no, I don't want it. And I should have paid attention. That's why you read your pattern first. But guys, I'm not going to get better if I don't at least try, you know? So, here we go. Oh, that one needs to be ironed a little bit better open. Don't get any better if you don't practice and try. And so now I guess the next step is put these together and then put them on the body of the flower, I'm guessing. I don't know. We're going to get the directions here in just a second. And they're doing some kind of work over here at the building beside of me, and all I hear is thunk, 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 thunk. Okay, so there's all my tulip points. Okay, now we're going to join all the units together. We're going to snowball the bottoms of the big blocks with the D square, which was the 2.5 inches. So these guys will go on the corners of these guys. So we'll snowball those, and I will probably mark those lines because they are bigger. So now I'm going to make sets of 3s of all of my tulip points. And we'll see how that goes. Yeah, I have this little rug down here that I got thrifting, and it just does not want to. I need a bigger rug, a bigger area. All right, let's see if we can get these together. Sets of 3s, and I know they're going to be messed up, so, you know, she is what she is. I'm just going to do 2. Open it up. Add the other one. want to wad up my seam right there. And there is the top of a tulip. Why does this one seem a little bit bigger? That is fine. We can trim it down. I'd rather have it too big than too little. That's the way I look at it. You can trim it down. Just wanting to wad up on that seam right there. This walking foot is the one I got off Amazon. Not walking foot, quarter foot. It's got an angle right here that I do not like. That's why you have to see me kind of lift up when I'm coming to a seam, because it will wad that seam up under the foot. This seam right here, it'll wad like that seam up. If you're going down this way, it's fine. But if you're going up, it's like, nope, not today, lady, not today. So let's do it downwards and see what it gives me. If I can get my corners to match up here. My hands are not wanting to work at all today. Now if I'm going down, it's fine. I will take a ruler and we will square the bottoms of these up as best I can. Give them a haircut and a shave, just that. And this one, I guess I cut a little big. But again, I'd rather have it too big than too little. It's just haircut and shave. Okay, there's two done. All right, so once I get the points together, we'll start assembling the flowers. So what happens when you cut something all wrong or sew it all wrong and you are now in, let's salvage this mode. So I had text from work from the DM, text from one of the employees, then I had to call work about the employee, then there was another employee. Okay, so I have like totally messed up one of my blocks. It was all the blocks actually, because I sit here and chain piece them while I was on the phone. So I am now doing by the seat of my pants, which I'm normally good at. So I am making up some stems for my flowers, because that is what just got basically ruined. Was my stems and my leaves. But it is okay. Because what do? We just keep going. So these are leftover jelly roll strips that I had. I'm just cutting some up into pieces for stems. And this is actually wider than what the pattern called. It is fine because, like I said, now I'm in fly by the seat of my pants mode. But these will be some stems. No, they will not be this long. They'll probably be even half of that. Let me see. My little blocks here, because it's probably only going to be this. So here's what I'm going to do. I will, because I like this bigger stem actually, I'm going to sew this together, cut this to fit. I will snowball a leaf up in here. That's what I'm going to do. So, let me find my rots together, my ups, and that is my plan. So whenever, like, something gets you and it messes you up, don't be afraid to wing it. I do it all the time, guys. I do it all the time. But yeah, that just, all those green dot blocks, I just sewed every one of those wrong, and I've already cut them, trimmed them down. But it will be okay. I'm going to go ahead and take one of these to one of these and find the right side up. Because I want the stems to be different. I already knew I wanted to do that. I wanted the stems to be a little bit different color. Okay. There's that. Cut that. Flip this one around. Cut that. Again, we can use both of those. I'm going to press this over with my finger. Grab another. One for each side. We will make it work. That is all there is to it. And then this one. Yep. I'm getting hungry, so it's about lunchtime. We had some bacon in there that we had fixed, but we had like the rest of it. I went ahead and cooked all of it because if we don't, it's going to go bad. And I'm going to make some kind of chicken tonight. I don't know exactly what, but I know it's chicken. And I guess I could crumble up some of that bacon and put over the top. So once again, I'm going to press this to the dark with my fingers. Press this to the dark with my fingers. Alright. We'll go ahead and hit it with an iron. The only thing I don't like about this iron is the timer. It goes off before I'm like done using it. So I have to keep turning it back on. Guys, if I have to go into work today, I'm going to be so mad. I'm going to be so mad. Alright. So now what I'm going to do is take another piece of this and figure out a way to put me a leaf on there. We will figure it out. Even if I have to applique it on there, which I could. Boo, 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 doo, doo. Boom, 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 boom. Boom, boom. Boom, boom. Okay, I think I got an idea. Be right back. Okay, so I salvaged my flower. Now this is not exactly to the pattern, but I salvaged my flower. I figured out how to do this one. We'll have to get caught in the seam allowance. It didn't. It'll. I figured out how to do it. That'll work just like that. Okay. So, saved. It's been saved. It was saved. I just have to do all of my leaves like this now. So, so what I did is I took these two, Okay, and I'm going to take a piece of this and I'm laying it across the top this way. And I'm sewing from here to here. This will fold over and cover up this corner. And then I just square it off, cut off the back, sew it on, then trim it down. So that's how I salvaged it to get this. So lesson learned, stay off the phone when you're sewing. Just stay off the phone. So these don't have to be perfect because they're leaves. They're going to be different angles. They're going to be different, you know, shapes and sizes. But as long as this will fold over and cover that up, you're good. Make sure I've got this coming to that, because you can trim it. See? And then you just fold this over. And then you'll cut this down. What I do is I'll flip over the back, using my back as my guide. And now we have a leaf, where before there was no leaf. Now we have a leaf. Then I can open this back up, trim the excess off. And there we go. And then I'll do the other side. And I'll fit this to the flower and then trim off whatever's extra over there on, like, on the edges. So if they're a little high, little low, it's fine. They're leaves. You know what? It's okay. It is okay. But that's how I salvaged it. I was like, we can fix it. Hold on. But I got one column with a possible something wrong with her tire. One that said she was coming in that didn't show up. I think I went really high with this one, but we'll see. We're going to fold it over. And maybe not too bad. Take it to the back. Trim it. So whenever you make mistakes and you think it's a bad mistake, even like messing up fabric like I just did, just think about how you can salvage that situation, because this to me still looks perfectly, it's perfectly fine. Okay, I'm going to iron those down. It is perfectly fine. And I still have leaves on my flowers. My flowers still have stems. And now I'm going to grab another flower. And then all I'm doing here, because this is going to be bigger, is I'm just kind of eyeballing the center. No biggie. I'm just kind of eyeballing the center. No biggie. I'm going to sew those together. Then we'll trim the sides. That's good. Guys, I'm so hungry. Okay, so now we're going to flip this down. See how this hangs off the side? Line up some lines. And now we have a perfect flower. So even if you have mishaps, we're all going to have mishaps. And I definitely have mishaps. So, don't just take a moment, look at your project, figure out how you can fix it without having to rip everything apart, without having to cut everything back, cut, like I already had these pieces cut, and I already had the jelly rolls. So I didn't have to recut any fabric. I just had to figure out a way to make it work. So there is another leaf. All right. So I'm going to take a lunch and hope they don't call me to come in and get some of this cleaned up and keep going. And I will bring you guys back when I get to the finish. Because all I got to do is put the flowers together, put the little sashings in, and put the border on. And that will be it for basically this little table runner. But yes, I salvaged my flowers.